and to see that we can come into the InSpirit meeting place that is offered to us. So it's like we adjust into that. We adjust by letting it happen, not by our adjustment, but by letting that happen. Now, so welcome to the InSpirit meeting. And the InSpirit meeting is new. We start today, so this is like the introduction meeting. I always love to use that because it is like it is a new idea that comes in for us to get acquainted with. Of course it's recognizable in what we do, of course, like it's tapping from the same source. That didn't change. It has the same purpose. It is just that in fact, I have to start with where it starts. Where does this start? Like I especially announced this as an InSpirit meeting related to the ideas of art and expression and music and poetry and all this. It's like that are ingredients, but that's not the purpose, or that's not where this is really for. Now, these are means that we use to come to self-recognition and self-expression. Now, the reason why that is occurring has everything to do with me. So that's why I have to start with myself, just like you, of course. It's like you have a relationship with art and with music and with awakening in a way that this is a great time to take another look at that and place it in a whole different perspective, because literally your whole mind changed in purpose, in presence. Now that, see, I hear spiritual teachers like Joel Goldsmith, for instance, on Sunday. I hear spiritual teachers talk about how they came to their awakening. And many of them come to awakening by meditating and by taking time to meditate and do this and do that. But more like some kind of spiritual practice to actually come to that. Now, I don't want to say split art of meditation, because to me it is also meditation. But what I want to do is include it completely in and say like, well, I speaking for myself, in my awakening, basically everything started to open up when I quit my job as an engineer. And when I started to come in touch with working in a psychiatric hospital as a student nurse. And that opened something up in terms of a relationship, of recognition of my brother's in pain and I'm not able to help him, or how can I be of service here, or where is this coming from, what's going on here. And then in the next step you can say like, you see so much in fact recognition with the brother in pain that you wonder, where is that coming from? So that brings you back to yourself. That was what happened to me too. That totally came to me. And then you have to find a way to say in your inner life to find a place for all of that, or to connect or to receive new impartations that are actually helpful for you. And for me, it was at a certain point that I just spontaneously started to paint and make drawings and do, in fact, and started to play since I had time for that, because I was like in the middle of a huge burnout period, an incredible, you could say, like an identity crisis, which was great because everything opened up. Like I felt myself as being completely new after this, say, episode of 3.5 years of nursing being a nursing student and graduating. So it's like that was already totally different. But then it continued on, and here's the next thing. It's like I had to come in touch with myself. I lost everything in my experience of myself. I didn't know how to move on. And I, on a day-by-day basis, anything that was helpful to me, I started to use. Now, which one of them was like starting to draw, starting to paint, and bring things to expression that you couldn't bring into words. And yeah, that had a life of itself in a certain self that brought me to places. And I had like, I cannot stay here. I have to discover more. So I went to art school, and I started to have a studio and started to work there on a daily basis. But then something happened too. I made a little movie about this, by the way. I'm going to show that in a moment. Just like a kind of a memoir video. But it's fun in the sense that here starts my awakening. Like layer after layer is breaking down, is opening up. My mind opens up. I'm in my studio, I'm literally opening my mind for inspiration, for new discoveries to be made, and not knowing how to do that, but being guided and being supported with, for instance, music. Now, music was very important. I had some music that I was playing all the time, which was like a live concert, where I heard a healing taking place on stage. It was a live concert. And I played that over and over and over and over, because it made me feel so good to see that this one person was healed on stage. And so that was part of my practice. I was in a healing circle in that moment. I was in a healing circle receiving light. That was what the occurrence. I was totally part of it. That's how that felt. So in the meantime, I made my art too. My healing and art inspiration. A short impression of my awakening through arts and music. My meditation was art and music, more than anything. Preparation of awakening took mainly place during my art explorations and inspiration by music. After my engineering study and career, after my psych nursing study, finally ended up where I always wanted to go. Art school. But nothing is what it seems, by the way. Started to make art and be educated. But listening to healing and mind expanding music. Starting to have different experiences. In the meantime, I did make art, and here is some of that. My initial awakening experiences shifted art in my life. I became it, letting myself be expressed. art and music have become a means to self-expression, all-inclusive, ever-expanding. InSpirit is one of the fruits of that. Thank you for watching. So I never showed any of that. So it's great to share it with you. Now finally I get to the point where I can share this. Isn't that amazing? It's like, great, well, wonderful. That's lovely to see that. I really dived into the archives to find some of these pictures back. I didn't even know if I had them or not. But there they were. So it's great. Now I could show it to you. This is 97 or something, 95, 97, between 95 and 97. So this is not to give that any credit in that sense. It is more like in your awakening you get exactly the help that you need in the way that you can receive it, not in the way that you can't receive it. So that's why the awakening is so individual and also so incredibly intimate and personal. So with the arts, for me it was like I had my guys, art guys with me, except of course the students that I spent time with, but also the artists that I discovered. Like my eyes were opening for it, and suddenly you find someone like Anish Kapoor or Bill Viola. We're going to watch something of Bill Viola right now, and so it's like, wow, it's a matter of being mindful, a matter of taking a whole different look at what is occurring in such a different way that you can't believe it. You never saw anything like it. Well, you actually saw it, but you missed it. So this is like the innocence that we were talking about in the meditation, like the innocence is speaking suddenly. You see things in a different light in such a way that it touches, it brings you home, it gives you, it nourishes you. So that was my experience too. So I'm going to share a video with Bill Viola. He's a video artist. Now, to talk about the artist is also something. It's like he was one of the guys that was with me in that sense. So it's in that sense I saw him more like a brother than another artist. Like I would have no problem seeing him like that at that time either. So of neither. Like these are brothers coming to help you to actually see, and you receive some of their explorations or some of their discoveries that actually help you to see that you can trust it, to open your mind or stay with your discovery for yourself. Like for instance the sculptures that you saw that are made with the little wooden things, they were not glued. So to me, to make a discovery, I suddenly had firewood with I think 300 or 400 the same kind of wooden parts, and I started to play with them, and this was what occurred. So I could make patterns, three-dimensional patterns with it, but then I could turn it upside down too, and I could expand it to incredible incredible volumes. Now, and this wasn't discovery, like that was great. It's like you discover something, it is held together just by gravity, it held together. I take one of these blocks away and it doesn't fall apart at all. It immediately settles again, and on and on. But this was an individual exploration that I did. But you stay with it and something is there for you to discover. Not to become completely obsessed with what you see, and still recognizing that, well, it's like you recognize that you are discovering something. That is what matters. You discover something that expands your idea about yourself. That's how that feels. And that's what I love about it. And so at a certain point, you don't have to do that in a three-dimensional way anymore, but there's nothing wrong with using that, since it's available and you can play with that. You just have no idea what you can discover. All right, so to keep it really simple, because that's also one of the things here. It's like I want to keep this very basic and not too philosophical or any kind. Not too much of that, but more like there's a discovery to be made, and now you could say there are a couple of things happening. It's like there's of course the art, there's the artist, like there's you performing this art or discovery, as I want to call it. It's like you make a discovery. Now you use your own development and your own openness in that. So there's the technique, there's the person, and then there's that what comes through literally that uses you as the inspiration, as inspiritedness. It is inspiring you. It literally uses your hands, and it gives you something that you had no idea would be possible. And as a human being, you think in littleness and in small things. So a discovery is quickly made as you go outside of your safety devices that you've set up for yourself, like think out of the box kind of thing. Well, you first needed the box in the first place. You needed a prison to get out of it, if you know what I mean. So that's easily done. Like a human being is easily surprised. But that's where it starts. So now the door is open, it continues and it expands and it keeps on expanding. That's the great thing. Okay, back to Bill Viola, the video artist. He has certainly his own language, and which is You know what I mean? That's so incredible. So it's like, this is you, of course. So in your observations, you can include yourself in. This is you awakening. This is you in your physical transformation. You were in an egg, and now you're bursting out of it. You have a crack in your shell, and you're working at getting out of that. It's like, what? And you see the chicken, when he gets out of it, he's still just laying on his back. He doesn't even know how to move or what to do. And waiting, just experiencing, like pure experience of itself. It doesn't ask any questions. It doesn't doubt anything, but it's moved. It's literally moved from within. Like, that's absolutely wonderful. So I could ask you, like, okay, so what did you see? And that would be interesting to take another look at it. Maybe we do that for next week. It's like, but I will tell a little bit more about the format that we use, because we don't have to do all the same thing, so to speak. So that brings me to the next point, and that is, like, how are we doing this actually, this InSpirit meeting? How is this working out? Well, I love to use, say, a bit of time for an introduction like I do now, but see, it takes a lot of time to do that, which is great also, but there's a syllabus. You see, you can, I sent you the link, so it's changing continuously, it's updating. Whenever I put something in there, it is updating. Now I made a PDF of it, so I fixed it like a snapshot, but in fact it is changing. Whenever I put something new in there, it changes for you too, if you use the same link. Now that is just practical to me to do it like that. So here are some artists, that's part 1. And Bill Viola here that we just saw. Yeah, use the egg hedge. You can watch it again if you feel like it. So there are, I think, 11 artists or 10. I don't know exactly anymore. 11 artists. 12, more. And then there's part 2. Part 2 is the bridge, and this is like what gives it meaning to us, in the sense, like this is not a regular art course. No, we're going to be taken further with this, in that sense. But here are some offerings. For instance, the practice to come in touch with inspiration. It's familiar to you for sure, but it's like here it is, just in place. And then there are projects. So in part 3 of the projects, I've put down 4 projects, I think, you could see it as assignments, but it's like your individual discoveries that you're going to make. And now we don't have all to do the same projects. So it's like, choose one that really speaks to you and work with that. So that's one thing. And then there's one more part, into the meta. Yeah, that was already something I really would love to look at today a little bit, since we didn't really make a lot of assignment yet. From Joseph Beuys and from Goethe. Okay. I use this book, for instance. This is a book from Joseph Beuys with probably 20 artists in there. I've used the book for a long time, so it's not new to me, but it's like I love to share parts of it, just like I used it now for an introduction. And I use another book, it's called Wired to Create. I've used that in previous meetings too, but mostly in the background a little bit. So there's about the artist, really, like the Wire to Create, how you can develop your creativeness in the sense of opening it up in your own consciousness. So there are some real beautiful instructions, and I will definitely share that with you too. For instance, this is what you might recognize too, that you hardly dare to start with an art project because you recognize that you become completely obsessed with it. Like you come into a compulsion that you need to finish it, and that you want to do it right, and you want to give it everything, and you lose track of the rest of your life, so to speak, which is very recognizable to me. But that's one thing, for instance, in the book Wire to Create, where it says something about that can be very helpful. I'm certainly going to share that with you too. Now, these are just practical tips in the sense of opening up your inspiration, and is really learning to listen, for one thing, calming down your concepts, and opening literally to letting yourself be used to express yourself, not necessarily in art even, but recognizing that you are the art yourself, and that the artist is expressing himself through you, and that you're the instrument. So that is really beautiful too. So this is in fact nothing new what you've heard so far, but it is more like now we're really going to approach this a little bit different. It will be also an individual process. Now that's why I started today with introduce yourself with an object or with something that you like to share in this moment as a representation of where you find yourself in your consciousness.